Oh, hi, this is Councilwoman Friedman.
Hi, Councilwoman.
Good evening.
Hello, Aviva.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Let's call the meeting to order. Welcome to the City Council organizational meeting for Monday, January 3rd, 2022. Let's rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
indivisible, with liberty
and
and justice for all.
for everybody.
Hey, roll call, please.
Councilman Scaringi,
Present.
Councilwoman Riley,
Present.
Councilwoman Friedman,
Present. Sorry, technical difficulties, but I'm here.
Councilman Burns,
Present.
Councilman Strawn. Present. Councilman Scanlon,
Present.
and President Resnetti.
Present.
That's all 7 here.
Okay, great. So at this time, I'll ask for nominations for the position of City Council President.
Madam President, I would like to nominate our colleague from the 6th District, Councilman Phil Strong, for the position of City Council President.
And I would like to second the Second. nomination.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? Okay, seeing no other nominations, I'll have the clerk take roll call.
Okay. So for this, you'll want to state the name of the individual that you would like to appoint as City Council President. And with that, Councilman Scaringi,
Councilman Phil Strong.
Councilwoman Riley,
Councilman Phil Strong.
Councilwoman Friedman,
Councilman Phil Strawn.
Councilman Burns,
I happily and strongly support Councilman Phil Strong.
Councilman Strawn,
Phil Strawn.
Councilman Scanlon,
Councilman Phil Strawn.
and President Resnetti.
Councilman Phil Strawn.
That's 7 votes for Councilman Phil Strawn.
Congratulations and welcome, President Phil Strawn.
Thank you.
Am I the only one? Nope. You're very welcome. Okay, so I think we're supposed to change seats at this point, so let's do this. I'm gonna go down this way.
Somebody suck. Well, the grandkid.
Okay, a little housekeeping here. Thank you, everyone. I really, really appreciate it. I'm going to say a couple things a little bit later after we're done, which shouldn't be too many minutes from now, but I definitely look forward to a great year. And like I said, I'll make a couple comments in a second. I want to thank our clerk, Mr. Rogers, for getting me this nice gavel. Hopefully you all can see it. And I'll probably come down here for the meetings, but I do appreciate being there a lot too. So just so you know, when we get to the work session, I'm going to ask the people to come up here so you can at least see them a little bit. It just feels better when you're out there looking into it. So we have all these microphones here and we're kind of sitting here lonely. So why not do that? So, okay, I digress. Like I said, I'll mention a couple of things in a second, but we will move forward with our meeting. So at this time, I would like to entertain nominations for the position of City Council President Pro Tempore. Oh.
Mr. President, I would like to nominate our colleague, Councilman Giovanni Scaringi, for the position of City Council President Pro Tempore.
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any other nominations? Okay, seeing none, I'll have the clerk take a roll call for the position of President Pro Tem.
Was that
Okay.
nomination accepted?
Happily
We'll
accept.
find out. We'll find out.
Okay, we'll take a vote here, and please state the name of the individual you would like to have for the position of City Council President Pro Tem. Councilman Scaringi,
Giovanni Scaringi.
Councilwoman Riley,
Councilman Scaringi.
Councilwoman Friedman,
Councilman Giovanni Scaringi.
Councilman Burns,
Giovanni Scaringi.
President Strong,
Councilman Giovanni Scaringi.
Councilman Scanlon,
Councilman Giovanni Scaringi.
and Councilwoman Restetti.
Councilman Giovanni Scaringi.
That's 7 votes for Councilman Giovanni Scaringi.
All right, and congratulations, Councilman Scaringi.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Moving on to the majority and minority leaders. Does the city council majority have a selection for majority leader?
Mr. President, the majority has caucused and unanimously supports putting forward the name of our colleague, Councilwoman Sophia Residetti, for the position of majority leader.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Has the city council minority made a selection for minority leader?
Yes, the city council minority puts forth Councilwoman Angela Riley as the minority leader.
Okay, great. Congratulations, Councilwoman Riley. All right, we will move on to the committee assignments and board assignments. We looked at some of these. I think we've left some of them the same. We've shuffled a couple of them. If you want to move this around, I'd certainly be happy to talk to Councilwoman Riley if they want to, if you want to move some of these around. But I'm going to announce what we have right now, and for the most part, I think that we'd certainly be willing to discuss any changes. So for the standing committee assignments, we have the following: Finance Committee, chaired by Councilman Giovanni Scaringi, Councilman Tom Scanlon, and Councilman Joe Burns. Planning and Community Development, chaired by Councilman Tom Scanlon, with Scaringi and Councilwoman Friedman. For Municipal and Public Affairs, chaired by Councilman Scaringi, and then Councilwoman Residetti and Councilwoman Riley. Public Works and Parks will be chaired by Councilman Scanlon, and then Councilwoman Residetti and Councilwoman Riley. The Employees Committee would be chaired by Councilwoman Residetti, with Councilman Scaringi and Councilman Burns. And for the Rules and Special Studies, be chaired by Councilwoman Residetti, with Councilman Scanlon and Councilwoman Friedman. For the boards and commissions, for the Binghamton Local Development Corporation, BLDC, would be Councilman Scanlon and Councilman Burns. For the Binghamton Urban Renewal Agency, Bureau, Councilwoman Residetti and Councilwoman Friedman. For the Binghamton Johnson City Joint Sewage Board, Councilwoman Riley. For the Commission on Architecture and Urban Design, COD, Councilman Scaringi. Community Development Advisory Committee, CDAC, Councilwoman Residetti and Councilwoman Riley. For the Traffic Board, Councilwoman Residetti. And as we met last meeting, the Water Street Parking Garage LDC, Councilman Scanlon. One final piece of business for this port before I make add a few comments. I will take the opportunity, as been done under precedent, to as we take votes throughout the year, I will elect to go last in the roll call order, as my two predecessors have, and I think before that. I'll make sure those arrangements with the clerk, and then I guess we'll just go in order up until me, and then I'll go last for those votes. So I just wanted to make that note. All right, I just wanted to say a couple things. I think over the last, couple days and in the last week, I think I've talked to everybody. Some more, some less. I had some really good conversations with several of you, which I really, really appreciated. So, it's easy to say and to use it as a just a talking point, but it is a new year. But it's not only a new year, it's a new administration. And we have 2 years under our belts. I think it's time that we're going to get a lot done this year. About earlier today, I talked to the mayor, and I believe we're in agreement on virtually everything that we talked about from just a logistical and functional standpoint. So I just want to make a couple highlights. The things that we have been through. None of this is to this has been a tough time that we've come into. We've all been through a lot. And I would be remiss to not thank Councilwoman President Rezanetti for her service. She did a great job. And, we joke about the chair. I mean, this isn't a big chair. This is just like just a normal chair that I'm sitting in. But, most likely, early in 2020, we met in council chambers, and I'm very optimistic that very soon, even this part of the meeting, even if some of you are on Zoom, we will be back there. And I'm very optimistic at some point this year, we'll all be back there, which is what I really want to happen. But oddly enough, 2021, not one single meeting was in there. So we joked with Councilwoman Rezanetti that she never got to sit in the big chair down in the council chamber. So I feel bad about that, but it was a unique year. You did a great job. And so we thank you for that.
Thank you. And I did have my Rubbermaid desk
Yes.
here that I was able to use for a while.
She did have the Rubbermaid desk that we were able to use for a little while. So I just want to go through a couple things that I talked to the mayor about, and I spoke with the clerk last week, and I mentioned I think several of these to all of you individually over the last week or so. So I think we'd all agree that we just would like to tighten up the agenda a little bit, how we do the RLs, how they come down. I said to the mayor, I said, we're part-time, and Councilman Burns has the most important job of all, of being a grandfather, even if he doesn't, even if he may have less of a, full-time, it doesn't matter. This position is by salary and by otherwise considered a part-time position. The people that are doing these RLs for the most part and working for the city and working for us are not part-time, they're full-time. So I just asked him, I said, listen, we want to, in fairness to us, in respect to us, in respect to the clerk's office, in respect to corporate counsel's office, let's try to tighten this up a little bit. Let's try to, we have a 5 o'clock Wednesday week prior to the meeting deadline to get the legislation in. Let's do that. All 7 of us are very intelligent people. We know when we know the difference between the exception and the rule. We're smart enough to know when something came down late, the state dictated something. We're all human, just an honest oversight. We get that. Peace, we're human. But when the exception has now become the rule, and not only the rule, but the norm, we have a little bit of a problem. So, everybody likes Fridays, wants to get done with their week, including our clerk's office. But the clerk's office too, it's a two-way street. If they can get the legislation on time, then the clerk's office hopefully will do a great job turning that around and getting us the agenda on a timely basis. And we'll have time to look at it, and then we'll go from there. When there's exception, I'll look at that and say, I understand, we're going to let it go, or I might have to say, no, we're not going to put that on the agenda this time. So we had that conversation, and my understanding is that the mayor will have his first large department head meeting tomorrow, and they will go over some of these things. I've also asked him, I said, just like I did in the budget meeting, not asking department heads to have PowerPoints or any special thing when they come down, and he took it, and the mayor took great note of this. I noticed, what he was writing. Just ask them to have a basic understanding of why they're here and what they're doing when they come down here. And that doesn't, like I said, that doesn't mean I want some glamorous thing or some crazy slides or anything like that. But, and I don't think that we're asking any specific person. The person in the department that has the best knowledge of that legislation that they're asking to be considered, have them come down and talk to us about it. It might be 30 seconds, it might be 5 minutes, whatever it is, it is. But if we ask them questions, we don't expect them to be perfect, but we expect them to have some understanding of why they're here and what they're asking us to consider. So he's gonna go over with them tomorrow, and we'll be gracious as we go through the year. But I did ask him that, and he agreed. As far as special guests at meetings, we're going to try to either push them back a tiny bit and get through some real quick agenda items and get our department heads on their way and into their evening and on with the rest of their evening. Or we may look at using a committee format a little bit more for if somebody comes for a presentation for the planning or the stadium district or a variety of things that we've had. Maybe we'll say that will be a planning committee meeting and then go to the work session. So we'll talk about the best way to do that. But either way, we want to try to, get those work session meetings moving quickly. And when we have special guests and presentations, to make sure that, we don't have 8 or 9 presenters sitting around for 30-second presentations if we can help it. And that's in giving back to the department heads and hopefully that they'll come prepared. We'll get them on their way and we'll move along with our agenda. The first thing that we will consider, and the mayor asked me to give him a week or so to put some stuff together, but we're going to move very aggressively into the issue of the code enforcement, the city code issues. And I mentioned that to several of you on the phone. So he asked me to give him a week or so to put some stuff together, is what we're going to do. And then at that point, I will ask, probably in a week or 2 weeks, I'll ask Councilman Scaringi to organize a committee meeting. But that meeting, rather than just have it be starting from scratch, we want an agenda for that meeting that we can work with Councilman Scaringi and the mayor's office to put together and try to sort through before we even start what's possible and what's not possible. And I think you're gonna find that very, very well, because I think you're gonna see that some of the items we're gonna be able to move very quickly to legislation and to pass some stuff. And then we can consider some second tier items that might take a little bit longer, but so we're gonna move right into that. The last thing I want to mention is this idea of request for information that we have dealt with, and we kind of tussled over in my mind sometimes for no reason. So what I'm going to do is, at the end of a meeting, right during the meeting, if we hear something, either at that moment, I'm going to try to take notes, and at the end of the meeting, I'll either ask our clerk or somebody else to send a memo to whoever, and sometimes it's better for him to do it, or maybe I'll do it. Sometimes he understands a better target for that information, depending on, sometimes it's obvious who we're asking the information for. Sometimes it might be a little more gray who is the right person to get us that information. So I'm going to try at the end of the meetings, or right when we're talking about it, to say, all right, we're asking for this information from the whole city council, not just one person necessarily. Mr. Clerk, will you send a message to the appropriate department, and let's just get that right done, copy all of us on it, and then we're right in the process right from the get-go. And then we'll all see it, and we'll all know that it's been requested. So I'm hoping that kind of tightens those things up a little bit. That's at least my goal. And I'm optimistic that we'll be able to move forward and have a great 2022. With that, I will take a motion to adjourn the organizational meeting.
Council President?
What's
You have
that?
a hand raised, Mr. President.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, thank you, Council
Yeah.
President. I want to first and foremost thank you for your outreach this week, trying to not only coordinate the efforts of the council, but trying to gather the thoughts of all of your co-council members to start to strategize on how we will approach this new year. So I thank you for the presentation. Many watching did not know that you were presenting ideas that were collected and considered amongst all of your colleagues, and not just like a platform presentation of what you want to do. You really worked hard to gather the thoughts and feedback of everyone, including the Democrats. So I thank you for that and look forward to the year ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else want to offer anything for the good of the cause?
There's nothing else, Mr. President. Oh, sorry, Councilwoman Friedman. She has her hand raised.
Go ahead, Councilwoman Friedman.
Thank you. I put a new phone case on and now my phone isn't responsive when I tap on it sometimes. So I'll have to fix that. I just wanted to say also, thank you so much, echo the sentiments of Councilwoman Riley. And this is more of a question, but I was wondering if where the amended calendar for 2022 can be found, because the last time I checked, it was not on the city website. And this is maybe a question, I can save this for the work session.
Well, that's fine.
Yes, that should all be up sometime in the next 48 hours.
Okay, all right, great, thank you.
And also, just a quick housekeeping item, I will circulate the committee assignments that were just announced to everyone as well.
Okay. So we have a second to
Motion-
adjourn the
I'll
meeting?
second. I'll
Okay.
second, yeah.
All right, we are adjourned. We'll see you all in about 10 minutes.
And there is a second Zoom link if you want to click on that in your email. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.